They left me with nothing but a burning desire for justice. Fire! So I joined an order that was believed to exist only in legend.
Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
I learned how to fight in ways no enemy could match. Now I stand among the greatest and fight for the weakest.
Allow me to introduce you to George Washington. We could use more men like you.
And as the British Army seized control of our nation,
the man before you plotted to murder our general.
I will suffer any hardship to win freedom for this land and justice for all.
Ubisoft attempts to breathe a breath of fresh air into the popular Assassin's Creed franchise with Assassin's Creed 3. Reaching for a more open-world feeling, Assassin's Creed 3 takes a leap of faith into the Revolutionary War and builds itself from the ground up. Is Assassin's Creed 3 the change the franchise needs, or will it miss the bale of hay and land flat on its face? We find our unlucky bartender Desmond Miles stepping back into the Animus again to find a key that will hopefully save the world from a devastating event. Desmond must connect to his Native American ancestor, Connor, in hopes of discovering the key. While I promise to keep this review spoiler-free, I can say that the story starts rather slow, but eventually you see that Assassin's Creed has stepped it up with their already stellar storytelling. Plot twists, drama, heartache, comedy, and lovable characters are all present in this addictive story. And the history. Oh, the history. Any history buff will be thrilled to witness and take part in Ubisoft's take on revolutionary events. Talking to George Washington and other famous revolutionary figures is honestly one of the coolest things I've done in a video game. Ubisoft has spared no attention to detail with the revolutionary frontier setting. Whether it's dogs chasing cats, wolves chasing deer, or dudes chasing fine-ass colonial honeys, the world Ubisoft has created is detailed and very much alive. Additions of things like blustering snow and thunderstorms add to the early struggles of a simpler time. Not to mention my personal favorite, the ability to pet and feed nearly every single animal in the game. Pigs, goats, cows, horses, dogs, and cats are all able to be interacted with. Just don't try to pet the bears. The colonial atmosphere is rich and vivid. The struggle between loyalists and patriots and colonists is apparent. Walking through the streets of Boston and Jamestown, you will see the civilians voice their disdain for the British soldiers, and you can even start a riot. You truly feel like you are present in the past. Ubisoft has used Anvil New, their new gaming engine, to take their popular franchise to the next level graphically. Cutscenes and gameplay share almost identical visuals and are crisp and smooth. Facial expressions are even more defined and express emotions candidly. Honestly, it's hard to put into words just how beautiful this game is. Personally, I found myself climbing atop tall trees and buildings just to get a view of the beautiful scenery Ubisoft has created. Seriously, it's that good. Core mechanics are very similar to the previous games, but there have been some changes. Say goodbye to the button-smashing combat and countering systems of Ezio and Altair. Playing as Connor means that you actually have to time counterattacks and disarms to make them effective. Free running has been improved and is a lot smoother, but still has its moments of frustration. In fact, free running through the forest is surprisingly enjoyable and has become my personal favorite way of traveling through the frontier. Mastering the art of stealth in Assassin's Creed 3 is as elusive and rare as a unicorn. While optional objectives may ask you to complete missions without being spotted, the probability of doing so is pretty slim. Although the introduction of blending into bushes is a wonderful feature, it hardly helps in countering the lack of stealth opportunities. It would also seem that British soldiers had heightened senses back in the day, as they spot you almost instantly. Missions that require you to tail a suspect can be frustrating because you're given inadequate openings to hide. It feels that the game asks you to be stealthy, but hardly gives you the opportunities to do so, forcing you to be more combative, which loses its appeal quickly. It's these inconsistencies in gameplay that become quite defeating. I expect to rage. However, to defend Ubisoft, only slightly, I feel that we have grown spoiled with the ease that comes with the previous Assassin's Creed titles. Assassin's Creed 3 is more realistic and challenging, which a lot of fans, myself included, just aren't used to. That being said, it still feels that the game is unbalanced in that regard. Assassin's Creed 3 is a visually stunning game rich in history, story, and atmosphere. Its inconsistent difficulty and stealth can be discouraging to players. However, the beautiful scenery and vast open world help distract from the game's flaws. In the end, Assassin's Creed 3 accomplishes more than it fails. It is certainly a must-buy for loyal Assassin's Creed fans and history buffs. Ubisoft has certainly raised the bar for their most popular franchise, Assassin's Creed 3. We the Gamers gives Assassin's Creed 3 4 out of 5. All gameplay footage was recorded with the Elgato HD game capture device.